Well, whenever I prepare for the children's moment, I have a motto: use small words and big props. So here we go. I'm sorry, thank you. I'm not sorry, please, thank you. I should probably elaborate. Okay. I'm sorry. See if this is a situation that you can resonate with a little bit. You're a grown-up. You're used to having grown-up conversations, going to have a nice grown-up meal, maybe going to a gallery, doing all kinds of nice things. And then you have kids, and you talk kid. You talk to your kids, you talk through your kids, and when the two of you are together away from the kids, you spend all your time talking about the kids. That's what being in children's ministry is like. So I apologize if I come off sounding like I'm talking to you like your children. I mean that as a compliment. Thank you. Thank you for your support for our church and our children. And I don't just mean your gifts, but I mean for believing in children. You've made this a place that isn't simply a nice church for children. You have made this the church for children in Fort Worth. We've got that reputation now. New families that come in that move here from other places, that shop around from church to church. Many of them are ending up here, and that's because of your support. We had 462 children participate in Vacation Bible School. Our academy classes, we had online registration for those academy classes, which is what we do for our Sunday school, for kindergarten through 5th grade. And we had 130 children register for the academy classes in the first 3 hours. Not days, hours. And children first, the worship service, we just had it in here. Hopefully you don't see too much evidence that took place. Let us know if we need to clean up after ourselves more. And the Children First model has become one of the most respected and imitated models for how to do worship with children and families in the country. In fact, I'm going to Birmingham, Alabama this week to help a church there kickstart their Children First model. But you can't buy your way into this. You can't buy your way into 462 children coming to VBS. You have to love your way into something like that. And that's the greatest support that you give our children. And I think I need to take a time out right now. It's been exactly 3 years today that I inherited the keys to the children's ministry from my predecessor and my great friend Cynthia McElrath. And I feel like I'll probably need to stop every so often just to say that none of the things that we're doing in children's ministry would be possible without Cynthia McElrath. And I'm going to keep saying her name so we can remember it, because it's a good name. I'm not sorry. You know, I think in the Methodist Church, this church, but Methodism in general, I think we often apologize for things that are really not our fault. And the one that comes to mind, I grew up in the tele-evangelist era. And so, you know, you would hear this moving sermon. And of course, at the very end, what are they always asking you for? Money, right? And then you see them in mansions and flying around in their planes. And and so what has happened is a lot of us that have all the best intentions, well, we can't use that word. We say things like stewardship or your gift or your contribution. Can we just say money? You know, when I'm talking to the kids, they don't understand what that means if I say stewardship emphasis. Okay, we need money. Money, 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 money. Okay, have I desensitized that word a little bit? Can we take it back and use it for good? Because money is not a necessary evil when it's in the hands of good people who take care of an entire community, and that's our intent with it. So please give money. As an example, when you have 462 kids in VBS, you're just going to need more glue sticks. It's just going to cost more money. And we want to continue to cultivate an environment where children feel this is their church. And there's a lot of ways we can do it. First of all, kids are going to learn by watching what we do. So when our kids see us giving to the church, they know that that's what they're supposed to do. And encourage your children to give. See if they can make a pledge to the church. Then we'll have a generation that, did you ever notice we don't have to have, you know, several weeks of pulpit speakers to tell us why we do the Lord's Prayer in church every Sunday? It would be unthinkable to not do the Lord's Prayer. We want to raise a generation of kids where it would be unthinkable to not give to their church. That's just what you do. So that's what we're trying to do there. And I want to continue to cultivate this thing that we've got going here that's so great, where it feels like it is their church. You know, when I was a kid growing up in church, this was the face I saw. The word that I heard the most in church was, shh. And don't we want to raise a generation of children that they hear things like God's love? You are accepted as you are. You are welcome here. God loves you. We love you. We want you here. Those are all important things. And so that's why I say what we do as a church, we're not investing in the future. Okay? We have to invest in the children as now. Otherwise, there won't be a future, right? I want to use a very quick story as an example. I was very lucky to be here last night for the wedding of a woman who grew up in this church. And so I'm watching her, she's walking down the aisle, and there's Frankie Young in the back getting her wedding train all ready as she's walking down. And then she walks, and there's her former children's minister sitting there wiping away a tear. And there's Dr. Mike standing there waiting for her to come. He's got the same smile he's had for the last 18 years. And then I got to sing, and all throughout were family members and church members, and it wasn't that she just drove by this church and thought, well, that's a pretty building. I think I'll get married there. It's that she knew, and her family knew, that their greatest concentration of love for that person was right here. And in a very selfish moment, as I imagine a lot of us imagine what it would be like to walk our daughter, and maybe remember walking our daughter down the aisle and thinking, man, I want that for my girls. I want it to be where it would be unthinkable for them to be any other place than here. So our investment in that young woman who just got married, we invested in her. This is her home, and I want to create that for this generation and for many generations to come. And I want to finally say thank you. I know you love children, and as our children go, so goes our church. Thank you very much. Have a great day.